Hello, everybody. We are going to tell the story of the premature burial by Edgar Allan Poe. So, my name is Tatiana Rivera.
My name is Valentina Chavez.
And my name is Jamie Silva.
During in the study, there are many cases of premature burial. We will present some of these.
Well, the first anecdote or premature death, it happened in the city of Baltimore. The wife of one of the most respectable citizens, an eminent lawyer and member of Congress. And as she mentioned, it is impossible for her to was suffering from disease with the unexplained. After suffering much, she died, or well, is what they suppose, as her husband comments in the comic. She present all the common appearances in a death, like the contract and sunken contour, pale and marble lips, eyes without brains. But 3 years later, her husband returned to the family crib where she had been buried as time was spurring. As the husband pushed open the gates, an object dressed in white fell skinking into his arms. It was the skeleton of his wife with her shadow. Investigation showed that she had revived 2 days after being buried, and her strangles inside the coffin and caused the coffin to fall.
Okay, the second case of premature burial, it was in 1810 in France. There was a case of premature burial with a young woman, Mademoiselle Victorine, who had a large number of sweethearts for being beautiful and wealthy family. She fell in love with a writer or journalist, Julien, but she married with a banker, Monsieur. After the marriage, he bought them. Unfortunately, she was buried, but he loved the writer, looking for her, and when she realized that she was alive, he took care of her and they married and traveled to America. With the page of the time, 20 years later, they returned and his ex-husband recognized. So he sued her, but she won the lawsuit. The court said that legally the marriage had ended. The next story, the three premature burial, it was related by a life-speed surgery magazine and recounted a premature death of an artillery officer. He was hit by an aggressive horse on his head and suffered a contusion and fell into a slumber, but he couldn't recover and was buried really quick. At the next week, the following week, a farmer said that the grave was moving, so they went to look and the grave and the officer was alive. Little by little, he recovered the healthy, but however, some scientific people applied a battery and he died.
The fourth case, a young London lawyer, this occurred in 1831. Mr. Edward Stapleton has died apparently of typhoid fever. After his apparent death, few friends were asked for permission post-mortem examination, autopsy, but one of them refused to give permission. One of his friends didn't know what to say. He was totally disoriented by the terrible news that he had died. As often happens, they decide to dig up the body and examine it thoroughly in private, as the thieves went to the up. The latter mentioned to one of his companions not to be nervous and to do the job quickly. When An incision of some length was made in the abdomen. The first corrupted suggested the idea of applying the bacteria for experimentation, but then the patient with acquired bad neural table set movement up from the table walk to the center of the room, and the doctor
Now I'm going to tell my story. In my own experience, I suffer from catalepsy, illnesses that I suffer from, which leaves me in a paralysis state for days. For weekends, I was frustrated and scared. Every day I thought that my family and my friends would bury me alive. I same day, they can bury me when I was totally discomposed. So for this reason, I start planning what my funeral would be like. For example, repurchase the family crib, allow the coffee door to be open from the inside, leave a space inside the coffin for fresh air and light to enter, leave container with food and water. One day I wake up and I couldn't move. I feel that I was in a coffin, that my friends had buried me alive. I couldn't move my feet. I was inside something narrow. I feel the smell of hurt. I opened my eyes, but I couldn't see anything. I tried to shout, and nobody was listening to me. I shouted again, and apparently someone heard me, because I was listening to some people talking. One of them said, why does it howl like a cat? Others said, what is that? This is our boat. Others said, what the hell was that? And finally other person said, get off of there. Until finally these people got me out of where I was. Then I remember that the night before I had gone with a friend on a hunting expedition in the James River in Virginia, and then a strong storm happened. That night I tried to sleep in a barn near the James River. From that day I didn't worry about my illness anymore. I wouldn't change my destiny. After all, I have to die one day. I start living life differently. That day I was very happy. Thank you.